Like that.
Hey, welcome to Social Work Sunday Tea. It's a great day to be alive and well. It is September 4th, 2022. Listen, I want everybody to like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. We have an amazing show today. It is a great day. It's Sunday. Well, over here in Chicago, everybody's in different places, and I'm so glad. I'm honored to have these amazing individuals to be on the podcast, Social Work Sunday Tea. I don't know who want to go first, but we're gonna get started. We're gonna dive right into it and get familiar with each other, and everybody can get familiar with everybody else and all that good stuff. So yes, absolutely, it is a great day. Make sure everybody likes, subscribe, and get in tune to Social Work Sunday Tea. Miss Cindy, if you like to. Yes, you can go first. Introduce yourself.
I'm over here in the background telling people, come watch, forward in the link. Come on.
Yes, absolutely. If you like to
go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I see Patrice came. She tried to go in the Zoom meeting, so that was my instruction. So I'm texting.
Okay. Okay. So cool. So I just
Anthony over there sharing it too. I already know he's sharing it too.
He is. Hello, hi Patrice. How you doing? We're live and in color. Yes. So yes, I know everybody is sharing. That's all good. We're here to get in tune with everything. And if you would like to go first, Mr. Anthony, would you like to go first?
Ladies should go first, but I'll go first. What you need from me? My name is Anthony McCauley. I'm from the state of North Carolina, and I am the founder and CEO of Males of Distinction Youth Organization, as well as I also own a drone business. Okay. I am a 3-time #1 best-selling author. I've written 11 books, and ACEs matter to me. Okay, yes. That's why I'm here today. So thank you so much, Shakia, for this invite to Social Sunday Tea. Did I say that right?
Social Work Sunday Tea.
Social Work. Oh man, I'm just excited, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow that like that, but no, I'm so happy, so grateful to be here in your presence. Thank you so much. I'm proud of you because I've seen some of the work you've done, and congratulations on what you're doing. And you are in this field as well, so you're gonna understand when the more and more I talk, and the more things come out on my side of why I'm here, why I'm excited to be a reacher, and why I'm part of ACEs Matter. You're going to understand from a social work standpoint that this dude right here, man. Yes. So you're going to know exactly why I am passionate about the field of social work. But sometimes we give so much away, we have to make sure that we're taking care of our self-care as well.
Absolutely.
I am a certified peer support specialist here in the state of North Carolina, certified recovery coach. I am currently contract myself out with people helping those who are dealing with opiate addictions, particularly right now. Fentanyl is really tearing up. This September is the month of recovery. And also, we just celebrated International Overdose Day. All of this is tied into ACEs. The more and more I start dealing with my clients, the more on the bottom line of why I'm studying what I'm studying when it comes to ACEs Matter. I am figuring out, they are figuring out, and overcoming toxic behaviors and able to break the cycle of their ACEs. They're finding out that, hey, something did happen to me, you know? So,
Absolutely.
I'm not, you told me to go first. So,
Go ahead.
The top sets the tone. So, Patrice, you up next. You need a deep breath and to follow that because the top didn't set the tone, but Patrice got this.
Absolutely.
But hello, I'm Patrice, and I'm from the Virginia area, born and raised. A little bit about me: I am mental health for the Black culture on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I started the page during the pandemic. I went through a life-altering situation with my daughter that caused me to relive my childhood trauma. And me myself, I was a foster child, so I know the work that you do, Miss Houston. And I use that page to kind of for outreach, for mental health support. And sometimes people can say things better than I can. So I use memes to express my feelings and to share with other people, just connect. And I build a community and I love it. Even on my worst days, I show up for them because I feel like I have to. And that keeps me strong. But I'm also the founder of a nonprofit organization named Flavors Academy, which is a cooking program for children in Northern Virginia for youth ages 9 to 15, basic cooking skills, independent living, budgeting. We're trying to work in some arts, theater, and music. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm doing.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Miss Cindy.
They gave me some hard work to follow. I'm just Cindy. And here's what I'm gonna say. I'm Cindy, and I get to be friends with both of them. Ha 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 ha.
Yes.
They say life is a lot about your social capital, and these people are my social capital. As the founder and president of ACEs Matter, it was a mission for me when I learned about my own childhood adversities. Patrice didn't already put it out there and said she was a child of the foster system. She had to grow up in the foster system, and now she's a mother, right? Yeah. And so the more and more, and Anthony talks a little bit about his, but the more and more we do the work that we do, we run into people who, if they are having a hard time in life and getting past some of their adulthood struggles, as Anthony said at the top, it usually goes back to what happened to us in childhood. Yeah. So when I started this business, I realized I wasn't the only one. I was over here in my own little world. And then I was reading books and oh my God. So more and more, it started to look like us. People like Patrice talked about having mental health for the Black culture. That's how I met her.
Okay.
Me and I were both online in 2020. Like, we got to do something with this information. We can't just, now those who know should teach. And so we was like, we got to figure out a way to get this out. And that is how I ran into Patrice. And we established a relationship. Another part of my social capital that has contributed to me having these type of people around me was a lady named Coach Erica Love, which I think me and you've been on her show before. Have you been on Erica's show before, or you know who I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think I have.
I feel like we done so many.
Right. We did a lot of stuff. Yes, we did a lot of stuff. I'm just like, I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, what you need to know about Coach Love is that Coach Love connects. And so Coach Love connected me with Anthony McCauley when she had Anthony on her show, and I had been on her show. And I had talked about ACEs with her on a personal level. And when she met Anthony, she was like, I got somebody you got to meet. Yeah. Y'all have perfect causes and y'all should be doing your work together. So as you can see, I get connected with people who are doing the best they can with the information they have to spread the awareness about, hey, here's a way to be kids' protective factors. Patrice does it through her cooking academy. Anthony does it through his mentor program. And I get to do it through adults.
Right. Absolutely.
So a little bit about ACEs, and yes, 2020 was my I'm not going to call it a project. It's my baby, and I trust these people with my baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad you guys, coming on the show and sharing and giving all the information. So we're going to dive right into it. Like, for people that don't know what is ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, I don't know who will want to go first. Anthony, you can go. As far as what is ACEs, as far as what is it, the overall, so people can get a clear understanding of what it is. we can go from there.
And speaking your language too. Make us think. I mean, don't feel like you got to say what the CDC said. We'll do that. Go to my website if you want to know what the CDC calls it. But use your language. Use your means.
Right. This is definitely a safe space, and we can be able to just get it out there, and so the people can understand what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for clearing that up, Cindy, because I was getting ready to go with it's a traumatic event, but check this out. To all the people that's tuning in right now, I'm seeing UK, I'm seeing Scotland,
yes,
I'm seeing a lot of people tuning in. This is amazing.
Yeah.
To me, ACEs is all these things we deny within ourselves, like whatever we perceive as evil, inferior, or unacceptable, become a shadow to you. Okay, because as a child, I know for me, I used to express certain parts of myself and receive cues from like educators, my parents, and other people. But that shaped my notion inside of my mind of good and evil, and good or bad. But that trained me sometimes to feel embarrassed about my wholeness, WHOLENESS. And my shadow became like a wolf that lived inside of me. That led to some addictive behaviors. I felt like holding on and in some darkness that I couldn't get rid of, but they stayed with me whether I liked it or not. And whether you could see them or not, it stayed with me. Okay. So I had to get rid of and figure out how in the world am I going to get rid of or overcome this toxic behavior? I call it toxic behavior because personally, Shakia, I'm a lived experience guy that had some ACEs of addictive behaviors when in the late 1980s, when the crack cocaine epidemic swept the streets, I was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type guy.
Okay.
In the daytime, corporate positions, in the nighttime, getting high on my own supply. And it turned into my body loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was like the superpower and kryptonite to me. But behind that was something underlying that kept me.
Yeah.
After further, years of partying, because I'm telling you, that thing is painted up so pretty. Sin was fun. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have fun. But it came some gutter experiences when I really, really had to figure out and start small and embrace the bad wolf and find out what in the heck, why do I keep running back to this?
Yeah.
So I found out, no, I didn't find out, it was there. There was some underlying issues of some abusive situations and some resentments that took place that I had to deal with. I'm 6 years clean right now. If that tells you anything. I told you this started with me in the late 1980s. That's over 40 years, 30, 40, however long it is. But so that showed that inside of my life was a bunch of chronic relapses, because I get some time and say, hey, but that thing would rear its ugly head. And I said, you know what? This is acting up on me. My resentments, my traumatic experiences is bugging me. So I'm gonna lock up. I'm gonna go isolate in a motel room and try to commit suicide because I'm tired of dealing with this inside of my head. So a traumatic event.
Yeah.
And I had to acknowledge the shadow. I had to acknowledge the shadow and start working on this overcoming the toxic behavior. So we're getting somewhere now. So I'm gonna be quiet. That's just another little spill of mine. So I'm gonna be quiet because now we're getting somewhere. We dived right in. So we're there.
Yeah, definitely traumatic experiences, during childhood. Yeah, definitely. And it shapes adulthood in so many ways. And like I said, I work for the psychiatric and geriatric population, where I see ACEs just ringing through, 70 and 80-year-olds, and they don't talk about it until, they see me, and then they talk about their childhood experiences. I know I spoke on, older lady, where she was molested by her uncle. And I talk about this all the time, and how she shaped as far as being promiscuous, and she want to feel loved, and so she sleep with these women, and her mother, after all that, her mother told her, at that time, she told her, no, don't say anything, you be quiet, things like that. And it shaped adulthood, and it, because we have unresolved issue or behavior, it always lead into adulthood. But yeah, I love that you're on fire, Mr. Anthony. It's awesome. So we're gonna go to Miss Patrice. If you can explain in your own way about ACEs.
If I have to put it in my own words, for me, ACEs is the difference between a child having a normal life and a child having a traumatic life. Because for me, my ACEs started at the age of 10, and I didn't even know what ACEs was till about 2 or 3 years ago. So there was this dark point in my life where I had this battle with my mind, and I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know why it was going on. But come to find out later, it was those adverse childhood experiences. And for me, adverse childhood experiences means, I guess I would say, for me, not having a childhood, being in survival mode for 20 to 25 years, it's basically just giving children a chance to have a chance at a normal life without all the stressors and the trauma and the experiences that you're going to have to deal with later on. Because as a result of my adverse childhood experiences, I have depression, I have PTSD, I have anxiety, and these things I have to cope with on an everyday level. These are things that don't just go away. There's no easy fix for these things. Because as I said, I was in survival mode for a long time. So like for me, it's the difference between children having a balance of their emotions as well, because for a long time I didn't know how to balance my emotions. And still now, I have to catch myself and pull myself into a timeout sometime and think about my response before I respond to things, because I'm just not that person no more. And I'm thankful for that. But it's hard to have these learned behaviors of having to live in this mode where I can't trust people. I have to keep things to myself, and then getting to this age where I'm learning about me finally at 40 something years old, that I can loosen up and be free, but I'm still so guarded, So for me, a chance for children or anybody really to have a normal life. And that's a lot to say in a sentence, because nothing about life is normal. But with adverse childhood experiences, it's really it's a totally different life. And I don't think people see that on a bigger perspective of mental health, adverse childhood experiences, the difference between normal and traumatic.
Yeah, definitely. And I thank you for sharing that, because you know what's normal to you may not be normal to someone else. And and I think that we need to change that narrative, because we're talking about ACEs matter, because it does matter, because it, like I said, keep saying it over and over again, it shapes our adulthood. Some things you have to, check yourself, like, ooh, okay. It's, it's not a race. It's a marathon. It's always a marathon when it comes down to things like that, and reshaping and unlearning to learn again. That's exactly what this is.
That's what it is. Unlearning all those things I learned to survive. Now I have to unlearn to survive in what is considered a normal society.
Yep. And then we have to do better for our children. Well, we like, okay, so mom and them taught us, because it's something what they learned, right? And it don't work for us. You be like, that don't work. I don't think that works. But we're only doing what we're being taught to do, and that's as far as learned behavior, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes we have to stop that. We have to break that, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that don't work with us. Let's get to this. And now that I know, being in the mental health field, I understand. I definitely understand, like, oh, that happened, like some stuff like you just read about. I'm like, I didn't know that's what that was, and it kind of like not saying it makes you look at family members, you be looking like, oh, but they didn't know. So I can't even fault them for not knowing. So like I said, it's all about learning, unlearning, and learning again. And that's the beauty of it. Because now that we know, we can be able to work around and build on top of. Like, okay, all right, let's keep going. Let's figure this thing out. Because I mean, nobody has a manual for life, and we can't pick and choose who our family is. We can't pick and choose that, and we just have to go with with what we have and work around that. And yeah, thank you so much. Yes, Miss Cindy, if you'd like to share, what does ACEs mean to you?
It means that all it takes is a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about what just happened with Patrice and Anthony sharing what they shared.
Yeah.
And so ACEs means to me, we planting seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on where we are in our life will determine what type of ground that seed falls on.
Yeah.
So for all of us, we need nobody to tell us our childhood was a little bit off balance. But when we learned about ACEs, it helped us understand why as adults, we were a little bit off balance. So for me, it was because somebody was out there planting a seed, putting this information out there as they came to know it.
Yeah.
And that somebody for me was Nadine Burke Harris,
Okay.
which wrote this book called The Deepest Well. She had a platform not only as a person with her own lived experiences with ACEs, but she became a doctor and opened a clinic, wrote a book, and she was like, I want everybody, especially in my culture, to know about this. Because as a pediatrician, she had way too many 5-year-olds coming into her clinic needing ADHD medicine.
Yeah.
And what was loud and clear to that culture, which I can probably speak for Anthony and Patrice, we came from cultures like that where stuff in the house looked normal to us. Mom and daddy fighting, that looked normal.
Yeah.
Uncle doing XYZ to girls is okay, so just don't wear a dress around Uncle because you know how he is. Or mama telling you ugly just like your daddy. And so all these different seeds that were planted in our minds as children carried over, manifested into how we saved ourselves as adults. So I say that to say what ACEs means to me is that they are not an excuse, but an explanation.
Yeah.
During the season of my life, 2020, Nadine Burke Harris had dropped some seeds about it. And she said, this is why every single person who has sex needs to know about ACEs. She didn't say sex. I just put down, that's in my own words. But if you cohabitate with somebody else and you can make babies, then you need to learn about ACEs. Bottom line, okay? From a pediatrician, but she lightened it up a little bit.
Okay.
So ACEs are not excuses, but an explanation. So because she was dropping seeds, I saw Patrice dropping seeds. I saw Anthony dropping seeds. And just with us continuing to have this conversation, we just left your audience with seeds. So that's what ACEs means to me. Like, we drop these seeds, and depending on where people are in their life will determine how much our words help them. Yeah. It's a money back guarantee if you learn about it, or if it's not the season for you, then it may take you a little bit longer to get to your next, whatever that next level in life is for you. So that's what ACEs are for me. The seeds we plant, and then the people who take what we planted and then turn them around to make people understand them. Absolutely. My whole ACE score of 10 says that I know a little bit about ACEs.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. And it's all about learning and understanding what it is. And a lot of people don't know that they have ACEs. They don't know that. They was like, what? Like, no, I don't have that. And sometimes some people be in denial. Not my mama. No, not my mama, not my daddy, not my family members. But, some form of ACEs has occurred in childhood. And, I think that this is a great information piece for everybody to understand and to know what ACEs mean, adverse childhood experiences means. So if anybody wants to comment, I'm going to put it on there. If you want to have a question, things like that, y'all make sure y'all tune in and type it in the box so we can answer and be able to accommodate and to help, you along the way so you can do more research on ACEs. All right.
Can I put a plug in while we got people typing questions? Can I do one more plug?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm plugging us by saying we are lived experience survivors.
Yeah.
Overcomers, however you want to look at it. We are not clinicians. Thank you, Marissa. This is a great topic. We're not clinicians. where I'm not licensed to give anybody medical advice. Like, this is literally telling you what my rapid transformation was like when I learned about my ACEs. Like, I experienced a rapid transformation in 2020 that allowed me to meet people like Patrice and Anthony. So everything we say is from our own voices, and just know we're telling y'all right now, see your doctor, see your therapist.
Yes.
Leave us questions, but again, we're giving this information to you based on what we've experienced and what we're learning and sharing as we go. These seeds we dropping along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what's this movement? Yeah, no, it's fine. What's this movement of ACEs Matters? You gotta tell everybody. What does that look like? What is that? And how can we all be a part? I mean, we're all a part of it, because we're all on this live and getting in tune and figuring out what's what and who's who and all that good stuff. So what is the ACEs Matters tour? And Reachers. And I know that we talked about all of this beforehand, but if you can give us a clear explanation, like explain on what is ACEs Matter, the movement. Yes.
Okay, the tour, kind of like the tour. I'm gonna what I'd like to do is, for people that are listening, to remember one thing: the tour is about planting seeds, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to replace some of the seeds that were planted when we were children in our minds and our heads or whatever, right? Trying to replace them with not just information about this whole adverse childhood experience study, but also information that we've learned, and where it's appropriate, we're gonna share our story. So I think I would like Anthony and Patrice, whichever one of y'all want to go first, like when you started learning about what we were going to do with the Reacher residency, what made you want to get involved with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for me, what made me want to get involved with the ACEs and Reacher residency is my own lived childhood experiences and how it shaped my life and the things that I'm going through. But not just that. It's because I also see another generation getting ready to go through another intergenerational trauma, because like this pandemic has caused a lot of stress, worry, hindrance on a lot of people. So it's about getting that word out and giving the community resources. So when it does pop up, oh, this is what it might be, giving them resources and tools to kind of learn about it, deal with it, and share the word. That's what it means to me. Just like, as she said, planting seeds. It's not discussed. You really don't hear a lot about it. And you would think that with what adverse childhood experiences means, it would be talked about more. Lately, I've seen a lot of articles and news segments about this mental health crisis with these kids that are in the schools. And it's not going to stop at the schools. These children are going to become adults, and they're going to take this trauma into a whole nother lifestyle with them. And it's not just going to affect them, it's going to affect everybody around them. So for me, it's about getting the word out and spreading awareness amongst the community.
Absolutely. Mr. Anthony. Is he there? I don't know if he's there.
Anthony froze.
Oh, he froze. Yeah, he did freeze. He'll come right back, I guess. I don't know. But no,
like Anthony, like that kid in class, like he didn't set his Zoom up to make it look like he's still in class and he didn't left.
Right. Technology is something else. Yeah.
While we waiting on here, Patrice says something about intergeneration or generational stuff. And one of my other teachers, Caleb Hilton, here in Orlando, Florida, he recently learned about ACEs through me, and he texted me a couple of days ago to say that a couple of people had got together late in the 2000s, I guess, to actually coin a month, September, as intergeneration month, where we actually like look at our family roots. I think this is a perfect way to say, hey, we need to talk about our ACEs. We need to get some professional help. Talk about our ACEs. We need to join some professional organizations or some support groups so we can start unpacking this before next generation comes, because we need to get to get in a habit where there's connection being made with these people that are hurting, like the school shooters, grocery store shooters. Give people resources before it gets to that point. And trying to really use the residency and the whole ACEs Matter tour as a preventative measure instead of reactive, because we just reacting.
Yeah,
because stuff go down, and we are desensitized to some of these things now.
we are
right, because we chop it up, and so we've been band-aiding. Sad, right? We've been band-aiding the situation because that's all we can see. But as Patrice and Anthony put it, resentment lives in the bottom of the ocean. And when it surfaces, well, she didn't put it like that. Again, that's me in my own words. But some of these things that have happened to us in childhood have now turned into things that we need to get out. And that's what these people who are making these decisions to shoot up schools, to domestic, by all of that, right? It has something to do with not being able to handle stress, mainly because something happened in your childhood.
Yeah,
and that stress, like the Titanic, didn't creep back up and cause a shipwreck.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, he's
man,
back.
I had to switch systems on here, man.
Right.
I don't know what happened. It's crazy. What were you telling me to talk? I forgot what you was asking.
What did we ask? What made you become a reacher? I think. What made you become a reacher?
Yes.
One of the things I'm telling you, I don't want anybody to ever experience what I've been through, because I've already done it for them. And like Patrice was saying, I'm dealing with these kids now in school that are dealing with some things, and it's been that generational trauma thing. And also, you brought up the word denial, and I thought about that too. And I tell my people in the jail, I teach at the jails and stuff like that. But one of my favorite quotes about my man I'm studying in psychology, Mr. Carl Jung, you know what I'm saying? Carl said, "There is no light without shadow, and no physics wholeness without imperfection." I thought that's pretty. And then I think about my kids all the time, and I think that generational trauma made me want to become and start dealing with some ACE things about ACEs, because I want to get to the point where we start selecting in my field. What I'm doing, Shakia, I want to see. I don't know if it's going to be me being the trailblazer of selecting the right treatment program to deal with ACEs and addiction. Okay, because I don't want, and I got an acronym for denial. Didn't even know I am lying. Denial. So many people are dealing with it, and they don't want to come to the forefront because I don't want you to know about me. I didn't want you to know that I'm a professional. Anthony's, I'm that guy. I got the charisma, the classiness, but at nighttime, I used to get high because I was dealing with the traumatic event in my mind of, oh man, of embracing this bad wolf. You know, I talk about the bad wolf all the time and dealing with that. But I'm able to share, and I've had, and Cindy and Patrice, I've had some naysayers coming at me already. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to keep reading? No, it ain't. I know what I signed up for, just like the CEO of ACEs Matter told us, you guys know what you signed up for. So there's I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell it on
There's no shame in trauma. That's what people don't understand. There's no shame in this.
No.
That's why they battling in there. It will keep you in bond. That's bondage.
It sure will. It sure will.
I'm gonna tell you, to Anthony's point, and we again, y'all, we not encouraging people to get out there and just start sharing their story, right? It takes time. You don't get up and start bench pressing 400 pounds when you ain't worked out in all your life. You don't just do that. And sharing your ACEs is like bench pressing 400 pounds and you 100 pounds wet.
Right.
Like that's what it's like. So what I ain't said like that, you know what you signed up for. I did not say it like that.
No, but exactly like that. But Cindy, but people need to hear the truth though. People
that is true.
You're not the only, but that's what's going on in the world today. People will always want to cover it up. Oh, I won't tell nobody. But that's what your words will set somebody free.
Seeds. We don't even call them words. They seeds.
Your
seeds will help somebody.
Right. Will help somebody.
Even when our voice shakes, as William Anderson said, right?
Yes,
and even as I watch him, I think her name is Patrice Rose.
I'm gonna read that. Yeah.
And Patrice, if you still listening, the other Patrice Rose that's on the call, what your experience was one of the drivers for me wanting to do something about ACEs, because of my mother-daughter relationship, my relationship with my mama, and then my relationship with my daughter, and then me giving my daughter ACEs, if you will, right? And it was all because I didn't know. And even when I did know better, I was under so much stress alone.
Yeah.
Hear me when I say alone. We are supposed to face stress as adults, as children. She is right. Every child will likely experience, unfortunately, some sort of trauma in their life, even if it's a perfect household, but you went to school and got bullied by somebody with ACEs. So every child at some point may experience it. So our thing is to be proactive and say, if we know this is going to happen, let's teach people how to name it so that they don't look for a substance or a thing to do to try to drown out that reminder of what happened to you in childhood, because there are industries that need us to do that and to keep doing that and to not pay attention to this conversation. So what Patrice Rose went through is normal. Me learning with my quote unquote smart self. And then I look back and I'm like, ooh, I did that to my daughter. I had no idea. Right. So I was like, and I know I took my tools from my generation. Like I know exactly some of the tools that I used that was used on me. Yeah. And that stuff did not work.
I didn't say that in the beginning. It don't work. Like I just,
and that's the thing some people don't understand about it either. Like those things you learn as a kid, the things I saw in my household as a kid, I thought those things were perfectly fine. So when I started having kids, I started doing the same thing. And it took a long time for me to understand, look, what you're doing is not right. This is not the way you do this. And by then I had my third child. It was crazy to me. And I had to explain to my kids, look, I'm going to give this a go. I ain't had nobody to teach me how to do this. So I'm learning as I go along. We're going to learn this thing together. They kind of grasped onto it, but it was hard because if that's not instilled in you, adverse childhood experiences 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have the proper morals and intellect instilled in you as a child. It's always, you're not good enough. You're never going to be good enough. Your mama won't this. And, they don't, as a kid, I didn't hear those kind of things. I love you and I want to see you do good and you're doing a great job. So if a kid not hearing those encouraging things as you grow up, you're not going to have that kind of intellect or that compassion you should have. I don't know. It's y'all saying all the right things. That's all.
No. And people need to know that because, like people need to hear that seed because a lot of people, they're embarrassed, when you really actually get to the nitty gritty of everything and they get embarrassed quick. Like, I don't want people to know.
I'm going to be honest with you about something. I didn't think I was pretty until I was late in my 30s. I had been badgered and treated so bad throughout my life that I didn't even really look at myself in the mirror. And even when I did look at myself in the mirror, I didn't see me. And the day that I did, and I promise you, it had to be during COVID lockdown, the day that I actually saw myself for me was the best day of my life. I look at myself so different now. I used to think I was ugly. I never said positive things about myself. I was always hating myself, down on myself, and it was because of all that trauma. So it's like that trauma for some people, it's different for everybody. Everybody has a story. That's so cliche. So to me, it's like, everybody has a story, but everybody's story is different. Everybody's story looks different on them. I walked around, you look at people see me in public smiling, laughing, and joking. They would never think that my ACEs score is a 9 and that I went through the things that I went through. And it started when I was 9 years old and I'm almost 45. So these things have an effect on you. They do. And they have an effect on everybody that you love, the people that you're around, the relationships that you try to build. I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for 5 years and I'm still learning how to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Because of my trauma. So some of these things have lasting effects on us as adults. So it's always we work in progress. That's what we are. And we just try to spread the word to bring awareness so other people can start working on themselves and start loving themselves as they should.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that, Patrice. That's powerful. Yeah. And it's a lot of people out there that feel the same way, still feel the same way. And you really don't recognize your worth and you kind of like self-sabotage. I'm not worthy enough because of what has happened. or what has, been done, because somebody else, their mama called them ugly and all type of stuff. Like I was bullied in school, and I was a skinny little girl. I'm thick now, praise the Lord. But like I thought I was not pretty. I thought I wasn't pretty either. And until I got older, like not older, but like in college or whatever, I was just like, okay. But like even now, I struggle with like, am I worthy of doing certain things? Like Shakia, God called you to do this, God called you to be this or be that. And I'm like, but but in your mind, because you got that self-doubt and you got that self-sabotage.
In the back of your mind, it's always there.
It's always there. Like, am I worthy enough to do this? And and I was afraid, even doing this podcast, I was scared to like, what if the people don't listen to me? What if people don't support me? And what if people, all of this? And Shakia, am I worthy enough? Like, am I worthy enough to even to talk in front of people about mental health? And you've been doing this for 8 years now, Shakia. Come on now, what you doing? Like I don't know. And I still struggle to this day. Like, I don't think, but no, like definitely just do what God calls you to do. And be what God calls you to be. And I have to say that to myself over and over and over again. Like when things happen, I'm like, oh Lord, when people want me to come speak, like I got some engagements, I'm like, me? And that was like, what's the problem? I was like, I don't know, but I understand.
And I get that, because like I was telling you in the text yesterday, I'm semi-new to all this. And like I said, for me, for a long time, I thought I was so ugly. So for me to do this is a goal. This is awesome to me.
Girl, I wish I was chocolate. I'm trying to get it back in the sun so I can be chocolate.
Y'all cannot. I got one question.
Yes.
Anthony, you got to tell us, because right now we 3 for 3 of being called ugly in childhood, right? All of us. Mm-hmm. Anthony, what was your confidence building that you got in childhood, since we didn't put it out there?
Well, in the 7th grade, I wore a size 13 shoe. Okay, right now we're a 14, but everything is all. But imagine a skinny 7th grader wearing a size 13 shoe, and people always picking my eyes, call me Chinese eyes. And I thought that, but then there was some of the young ladies, oh, your eyes are beautiful, but the guy, man, you got them Chinese eyes and them big feet. Even the football coaches, if you don't get those big feet to moving, So I'm like, I always had to come like, what?
Yeah.
You know what? That made me. Whatever you feed your mind, you become. Okay.
The seeds that were planted. Yes. All of us had seeds that were planted in our childhood that dealt with something we couldn't control, like the way we look. We couldn't control it. And so along the way, not only did we have they like really should hear this, because we are adults telling y'all this stuff happened to almost cuss. This stuff happened to us.
They make you cuss.
This stuff happened to us. And as a result, this is what we struggle with in adulthood. So we telling y'all from the horse's mouth, plus there's some science on the shelf that we talk about called ACEs that also validates our story that we weren't even a part of. So we telling y'all that we were picked on in childhood about something that was wrong with our physical characteristics according to the other flesh. And then sometimes that would be from kids. And for some of us, it was worse because it happened when we got home too, by our loved ones, the people that were supposed to be protected and caring for us, right?
Absolutely.
And as a result, I'm going to put mine out there. If y'all comfortable, go ahead. I struggled, like Patrice said, with self-confidence. Until the pandemic, you would not catch me without a whole bunch of hair in my head. Now I'm like, I'm wearing a short wig today, and I don't care who don't like it.
No, that's right.
I found myself. I got tired of just looking at myself as ugly. I got called ugly a lot in childhood. Like Gibson Garibaldi was my nickname in 5th grade because he was somebody we was studying in social studies. And even though it had nothing to do with being bald head, that was what my peers called me. And so you know how hurtful that is to a kid?
Yeah.
We ain't got them kind of emotions to handle being rejected.
Yeah.
So I struggled with that in childhood. Patrice, thank you for opening that, because I felt more comfortable telling mine just because you put it out there. All of us, all 4 of us, 4 out of 4.
Oh, what we
Yeah,
had a question. How would you? I'm sorry, we had a question. How would you initiate a conversation with a preteen about ACEs? What they are and what causes them?
Wow, that's a great question.
Y'all want me to take that one? Y'all can nominate me if you feel safer, unless you
I
have some.
nominate you. I nominate
Patrice,
you to take that one.
Patrice, you a mama, so have you talked to your kids about it?
about ACEs.
Mm-hmm.
I've open discussion with my 12-year-old about it, and I really didn't want to talk to her about it so young, but I really had no choice because her friend, a close friend of hers, her parents were going through a separation, and her friend had started talking about suicide to my 12-year-old. So my 12-year-old brought the conversation home to me, so I had to open up and have this conversation with my child about suicide, but then it kind of opened up the conversation about ACEs, and the way I explained it to her is that life in life we're going to go through some things, but it's how you deal with them. And when you deal with these things that you're going through with life, you always have to remember that you have resources at your hands, even if it's your parents, even if it's at school, if it's an aunt or somebody you could trust. I try to tell my daughter, I mean, it's a hard conversation to have with her because she's still 12. So the only way I can really explain to her is that when she's feeling some type of way or she wants to talk about things, she has resources. Because with my 12-year-old talking about suicide, that done open up other doors to other conversations I'm not ready to have with her, but unfortunately I've had to have them with her, and I've had to reach out to the school in my community for resources to have these conversations with my daughter. So the best thing I could do is say, you know, have a brief conversation with your child about the things that are going on and how the things affect that child, but also reach out to your school and your community for resources to help you have these conversations, because as a parent alone, it's going to be hard because the kids now are up against so much.
Yeah.
It's not just, the pandemic anymore. It's bullying. It's getting up and going to school. A lot of kids don't even want to go to school no more, the truth of the matter. And it's just the beginning of the school year. So that's what I would recommend. And that's how I started the conversation with my daughter.
Yeah,
Shakia, you're the social worker. Thank you for Patrice. But Shakia, what would you do as a social worker?
Well, like with my daughter, I kind of like give it straight, no chaser. Like I just had these conversations, because life, it's a jungle out there. It's a jungle, and the out there in the world, they'll beat you up and spit you out, and then here you come crawling back in. I have to get her prepared for that. My mom always say I'm kind of rough with my daughter, but I give it to her like, hey, listen, it's gonna she's been called ugly because she had preteen with the bumps, and she was like, I just feel so ugly. And one time she cried, and I want to beat up all the kids, and that's my feelings because it's my baby. You look like me. We ain't ugly. What you talking about? And I have to build. It's like a confidence building type thing, reassurance. Like, hey, you're beautiful. Hey, you're. Just give her. As far as those self-talk and make her understand self-talk, as well as what you're worth and what you're what I've been taught as far as being in the mental health field, to definitely tell yourself, because our words are powerful, and what we say, it comes right back out. It comes out. So what I do, I gave it straightforward. We talk about sex, I tell her about straight through. I talk about those things because I think not sugarcoating it is kind of like putting the blinders on, and then when they get out there in the world, they be like, what is that? No, apples are apples, oranges are oranges, and I think that's the best way to do it. Even with my clients, I'm like straightforward. Them having mental illnesses and things like that, I definitely I'm straightforward. Just having that initiate the conversation. Like, hey, anybody ever called you ugly, or anybody ever made you feel, less than? I initiate it like that, and then when you ask one question, the whole world open up and they tell you everything. I had hours long conversations with my daughter about everything. And I was just like, oh, I wasn't prepared because nobody prepared for it. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I didn't even know you knew that. Oh, okay. So it's just being brave enough to say something and to ask.
And to listen. And put on to listen. You gotta be in a place to listen, because if we open up that conversation with our kid and then we tune out and get on the phone or like go somewhere else, we just caused another reaction in their body to say what I got to say is not important.
Right.
And I also say this because Patrice put it out there. I didn't know what to do. So I looked for some help. And I think something that we have to do as a culture is get comfortable learning how to ask for help if nobody taught us that in childhood.
That's because like some of the stuff that she was bringing to me and talking to me about, I didn't want to respond or react to her in the wrong way about it, because I'm still kind of, my communication is what's the proper word for it? Sometimes I don't know how
work in progress.
I'm like, like I'll say it before I even think it, and then I have to catch myself because I have to remember she's still 12 years old, and I have to be gentle with her because when her friend brought up this conversation about suicide, my daughter got in a fight in school maybe 2 weeks later and got kicked out for 10 days, and because I punished her, then she said something to me about committing suicide, and that had me in an uproar, and oh my God, PTSD, and I'm crying. And so it's like it all depends on the child and the situation, because some kids can handle conversations better than other children, you know what I'm saying? But for me, with her, when my grandkids came to stay with me because of my daughter's situation and my grandkids had to leave, that left my daughter traumatic, and she changed a whole lot. She just went through some emotions that I still can't deal with. So it's like I had to go outside of my community to get some resources to deal with her, because when she started talking about suicide because she heard it from a friend of hers, that scared me to death. And I thought I contemplated suicide a couple times because things in my life were so bad that mental health had me in such a dark place that I felt like I ain't had no way out. What I'm saying? It was my kids that kept me here because I didn't want my kids to go through what I went through in the foster care system. So it's like sometimes life repeats itself in certain situations and certain things, and we just got to be mindful and learn how to deal with different things on different aspects and ask for help. Because for a long time, I ain't asked for help. I thought asking for help made me look stupid, and I felt ashamed to ask for help. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even with me having 2 adult children, one getting ready to graduate in high school and one in middle school, I'm still learning how to be a parent, and I'm almost 45 years old.
Yep.
It's a process.
Yeah, it definitely is. And man, it's something else, because what they see on social media, what they,
that doesn't help at all.
It plays a role in your parenting too. You gotta fight against this, and you got the world, you gotta deal with your own, things that's going on. But like definitely having those uncomfortable conversations all the time, and like, hey, how you feeling? And I was like, hey, what's going on? You look a little down today. Like, even I check in with my daughter, like, what's going on with you? I think that it makes a difference because you're listening. And sometimes I don't speak. I let her talk. I do more listening than talking. And I'm like, oh, okay, then. And she was like, yeah. And this boy and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. Really? I think that opening up that window and having that relationship and that rapport, and as parents, we're still learning. We're still learning some stuff about ourselves that we didn't even know. That pandemic, it opened up a can of worms for me, because there was some stuff about myself I didn't like.
Oh, me too.
I did not like. I was like, I'm like this. Ooh, Shakia, and I'm and I come to realize I'm good to everybody else but myself.
Ooh.
Some of the things we say to ourselves, we would never let somebody else say to us. So we have to check those seeds. And so just the thinking about
isn't that crazy though?
It is crazy. Some of the things we say to ourselves, we will never let somebody else get away with. But those are the seeds that have been planted in our mind.
Absolutely.
Right. And we use the tools that are available to us. Right. Patrice, me and you, same. And I know God don't make no mistakes. There is no coincidence. The fact that Patrice is currently living the life that I lived 7 years ago, I know you can get through it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wings on the other end. And guess what? Because you're doing this right now, you're learning to get those tools so that your daughter can be able to come to you. Yeah. I was in my 40s and didn't have those tools. So when my daughter tried to commit suicide the first time, when the doctor left that room, do you know which tool came out of my toolkit? Which seeds, the first seeds that came out of my toolkit to use for my daughter? Do you know how much this is going to cost me? My daughter, who had just tried to commit suicide, those were the only tools that I had in my stress body toolkit to be there for my daughter. No wonder she wanted out. No wonder she was trying. I had no idea. And so for you to be with your babies right now, learning this information with a team of people around you, you are showing people that just because we didn't get the right seeds planted in us during our childhood, that template, it don't mean that we can't be the link that breaks the chain.
Yeah,
exactly.
I did not have the tools for my daughter, and I was under a ton of damn stress.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was how much her attempted suicide was going to cost me. And that is exactly the seeds that came out of my mouth in the hospital. No kid deserves that. So if we are recreating and we have a chance to break this cycle by telling my baby, I'm learning at the same time as you. Yep. Like, we don't have to go call professional help for this.
Yeah.
Mommy gonna have to work on herself first if you want me to be able to stay present in this conversation, because it might bring up some big emotions for me. Yeah. For my own childhood.
Yeah.
So I leave you with that. Get with you a therapist. If you don't have the funds for a therapist, get with some people that are vibrating higher that will help you.
The school will connect you with resources.
ACEs Matter. We started it on ACEs Matter, where we're gonna bring people in a class together to learn how to bring these conversations up with your family and your kids and yourself, so that you can first be nice to yourself before you can be nice to others.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Oh, no, fine. No.
Thank you for sharing. I had no idea. I mean, I knew a little bit, but like hearing you say that, like you literally just walked through my life. You literally just walked through my life sharing that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Through conversations.
Yeah, you never know. That's why I say everybody's story, we more alike than different in reality, you know. Everybody may have a different story, but we more alike than we are different. You know, we all went through things. Life is
that initiating part, like you was talking about too. Here's what's getting ready to happen to me going through my residency training. I can see, because in my community, the kids look at me as a place of safety. Yeah. I went to the yesterday was National Movie Night, National Movie Cinema Day or whatever. So I went to the $3 movie, and it was crowded. All of my kids would seem like were there. And these kids, so this guy came up and said, "Dude, who are you, man?" He said, "Why are these kids running up to you?" I said, "Because they know me and they know I'm a place of safety and they acknowledge that." But here's what's going to happen, Shakia. I'm going to be able to, after I continue to gain my knowledge of my residency training, I can have my boys. And I got, over the last 5 years, I've come in contact with over 150 boys. So I got boys from the ages of 8 to 17 years old. I'm going to be able to have them in a group setting. And I'm going to be able to say, hey, guys, this is what we're getting ready to talk about. And I'm getting ready to, I'll be able to display to them a knowledge base about adverse childhood experiences. But I've got to have the parent involved with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting ready to teach, I'm getting ready to show your son or teach your son something, but I need you to be in the presence. I need you to be in that same group with him when we talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm in a very, very, I'm being set up. It's a setup. So Ace, it's setting me up. It's a great
setup.
Yeah. So that part, and like I said, I'm on a quest. I'm definitely trying to make sure that this is incorporated as the right treatment program to deal with ACEs. So I got 6th graders smoking weed like off the chain right now, and they don't know that one little pinhead piece of fentanyl. That's it. So then that leads to some addictive behaviors, and now I got to initiate the conversation. I'm like you, Shaquille. That's why the kids love it. They're like, Mr. Anthony will tell us.
Mm-hmm. You got to create that space.
Yeah.
You got to create that space, that space where they feel comfortable enough to tell you anything, any and everything, you know, like, oh, I got this going on, you know. And I think that when you create that space, that's when you know how to help. And you can be like, okay, let me point you to this person, or, you know, let me figure this out, you know, especially what people don't know. When they don't know, you'd be like, okay, but you have to be open and honest and be like, okay, I don't know. Let me find something. Let me find somebody to help and to be able to help me help you. And help me too, because I don't know, you know. And I think that's the beauty of it. And how does you kind of like touched on how ACEs Matter aligns with your personal passion?
Yes, it's coming full circle for me because I needed something else to let me know that the rubber is about to meet the road. Okay, and what it was this piece right here with ACEs and the passion that I'm doing, because I'm figuring out, man, had I known this a long time ago, I could have been really working on it by now. But
exactly
right where I need to be, because now I know why. I knew it was something, because I'm like, why do I keep building up and tearing down, building up and tearing down, building up and tearing down? And my goal, Shaquille, I love Harley Davidsons, right? Okay. So check this out. The one I want costs $40,000. Okay. So look, check it. Over my years of using, I've smoked up 4 of them.
Wow.
But guess what? Homeboy about to ride one in the next shortly.
Yes.
Okay? Homeboy about to ride. And look, what's going to happen is, as I begin to speak around the world, speak around on ACEs, begin to speak on my platforms, my professional platforms, I'm going to pay cash for it, okay?
Yes.
So that's what's getting ready to happen with me. And
I love it.
That $160,000 of me at active addiction. I stopped right there. So I've got to teach others about this thing, and we can get to the core of it. And I'm like, Patrice, I found out too. I brought my boys together. I'm talking about some of my hard boys, and asked them about what was going on. What's on your mind? And they talked about suicide. I'm talking about some of the ones that was hard. That only the school would call me and say, Anthony, can you come and check on little Anthony? He's tearing up the school. I get over there and it's like he don't want to be there.
It's serious out here.
They were virtual now, but my boy said, "Look, Mr. Anthony, I just wanted to end it, man."
Yeah.
So I got to get back to him, but now he's got an ankle bracelet on, so he's wreaking havoc right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to get back to him, but I'm the confidant in his life.
Yeah.
Mother and father both in jail. You know, so he has, I got to break that generational trauma with him.
Yeah.
Well, I can't, I got to break it. I got to educate him so let him know what's going on with him so that he can get to a point where he can start building a foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 Patrice, how does ACEs align with your passion?
Educating children and giving them a chance at a better life.
Yeah.
And I could do that through cooking.
Yeah.
That was, even though my childhood was the worst to me, one thing that I grasped from it was cooking, and I love to cook. Okay. Kids love to cook, and that's my way to teach them about ACEs.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Definitely.
Patrice, you remember that commercial back in the day? That crack commercial where they was, or maybe just a regular drug commercial, but they would put the butter in the pan and then
when they put the eggs in the pan. Yeah. That was this is your administration when they put the 2 eggs in the pan.
Okay, So our ACEs way to look at that is this is your brain on ACEs. So everything that all of us have been through as a result of our childhood trauma did that to our brain. And so because we're getting this information in the residency to understand what trauma does to the brain and how to put it in our own words so that kids have a chance to understand, it helps people see there's nothing wrong with you. It's what happened to you. And this is your brain responding to that, even 40 years later. Yep. If you want to calm your nerves, even that last one, at the cellular level, you need to be following the reachers because they're doing the work right now. They are literally doing the work right now. The hard work. The hard work. And we tell people that information gives us something to think about. But connection gives us something to live for.
Absolutely. It's all about the human connection. All about the human connection. And be able to connect and relate to one another. And that's the beauty of life, you know, and at the end of the day, we all need each other, you know, and we need these resources that can be able to help and to assist in times, because, you know, in life, you know, everybody need help. So it's like, come on. And it's okay. And I think, you know, stop that stigma of like, no, I don't want nobody to know my business. And now I need somebody to know my business so they can help me, you know, so I can be able to, you know, keep going. And so I can be able to, you know, be of aid and, you know, love on people, you know. So like, I really, really appreciate you guys getting on this live with me, and we're talking, and everybody in the UK, y'all been they've been showing out on this chat.
Look, my man.
Okay, I gotta say this. Speaking of showing out, Anthony, since you
go ahead.
Just one. I can't shut up. I got to. While we on the show, we got people donating and sponsoring. So shout out. Thank you. That's what it's all about. These conversations, they cost money to have them. So thank y'all for who donated while watching, and we appreciate you, Tashika. Now I'm gonna shut up.
No, go ahead. Anthony wanted to say something.
What I wanted to say was, this is so awesome. I don't know when Mr. Anderson, one of your regular followers from the U, he been the tune in of all the comments I've been reading has been my mindset on the hamster wheel. And just to even know that we're talking to somebody in the UK right now. He's giving me information about what's happening with the addictive behavior community in the UK. This is crazy, man. Or Scotland, or wherever he's at.
Yeah, I think Scotland. Hey, UK, Scotland. Oh yeah, he was talking about Scotland. The drug.
Yeah, that's William. William is a ride or die. He has an ACEs foundation that he focuses on in the UK. So we telling people, if you come through UK, and I'm gonna go and just put this out there because we like to show off what we do in class. We meet once a month on Wednesdays as a cohort, and on Wednesday nights, on the last Wednesday of the month, we all get together. And we had guest speakers come in this last class, and our first guest speaker who came to drop seeds for us, she came to drop seeds because she knows the importance of when you have a microphone and you have a camera behind you, the seeds you'd be planting should be planting people to cultivate, not tear them down. And Miss Marsha Warfield from Night Court, y'all remember her? Marsha Warfield?
That was awesome.
She showed up and showed out for us. Marsha Warfield came and she spoke to the reachers, and she left some really good seeds for us.
Oh wow! Look, Sandra Worthy Gilmore. That's one of. Oh man, that's my.
Hey, Sandra.
Yo man, yes. Oh my goodness, man! We got some great people tuning in.
Yes, One Business Chicago. Thank you so much for getting on there. Dr. Tori was on here. Tori Williams. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Williams. She is ACEs all day.
Yes, Dr. Tori.
Yes, absolutely. No, we're going to thank you, Patrice, for getting on. Patrice Rose, thank you so much. Yes. No, that's what it's all about. Like, it's all about getting this information out there. And I thank everybody for getting on the live and sharing and dropping the jewels and commenting on the live is greatly appreciated. Make sure you following everybody and what they do. Everybody, y'all follow me, I follow back. Social Work Sunday T. Anthony, put your plug in where we can follow you and everything that you got going on.
Okay. Well, the most recent thing that just happened was you can download the app lifenow.tv.
Okay.
Download the app lifenow.tv and scroll down to the Rise Up show. The Rise Up show is a recovery show. Rise Up means recovery, inspiration, spiritual enlightenment, uplifting people. We're reaching around the world, sharing a message of experience, strength, and hope. Also, you can find me at anthonybmccauley.com. That's where all of my books are sold. And any book that you purchase off of there, you get an autographed copy from me.
All right.
So I'm on Instagram, Anthony McCauley, LinkedIn, Anthony McCauley, Facebook, Anthony McCauley. And just Google. I didn't used to want you to Google me, but now I love when people Google me. Yeah, it's all good. So
yes, so much.
I second that. I didn't want people to Google me, but go ahead. It's like robbing a house I used to live in. Go ahead. I don't live there no more.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Patrice.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Mental Health for the Black Culture. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram for my nonprofit, Flavors Academy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for getting on this live. Thank you everybody that tuned in for this live and in color ACEs Matters Tour, Adverse Childhood Experiences Part 2. This is my second round talking about ACEs, and it is amazing. I'm just really blessed, and I'm really full. Thank you so much. We gained.
Thank you, Shakia. Thank you. I'm telling you, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I love mental health.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing a adult prom and fundraiser September 24th at the Midwest Conference Center here in Chicago, and it's for 2 nonprofit organizations, Friends of the Children Chicago and Building Brighter Futures. And I'm giving to these organizations to be a blessing to them. I'm doing it for the people, for the culture. I'm doing it for, we're partying for a cause, but definitely, so they can have the resources. And, after prom is over with, I'm giving my time, talent, and treasure to them, and to be a blessing to them. And I'm honoring some amazing leaders in mental health and entrepreneurs and, advocates here in Chicago. But yeah, y'all gonna have to come next year. Next year to party with me for a cause. And yeah, y'all gonna have to come and come to Chicago. I'll make sure y'all good. Get y'all some chicken or something. All that good stuff.
I'm there. I'm there. I'm gonna hold you to that. I need a good vacation.
I got you now. I got you. So, but no, it's gonna be amazing. I want people to, come and share. If you're in the Chicago area, definitely come to www.socialworksundayt.com and adult prom and fundraiser, King and Queen of Hearts. Yes, but I love you all. And thank you so much for getting on this live. I'm honored. And you guys have a great and productive Sunday. All right. Love you. Bye.